Join me today as we do a makeover on this little piece of Dollar Tree dollhouse furniture. And we take it from this to, and here is the final product for our video today. Stay tuned and see how fun and easy this is to do. Okay, so for this month's Dollar Tree dollhouse furniture flip, we are going to work with this little table. Now, I'm pretty sure that Dollar Tree intends this to be like a dining room table for a dollhouse. It's kind of how it looks in the package. Only problem is, when you stand this one up and you measure it, it's only 1.5 inches tall. So if you translate that into scale, that makes it about 1.5 feet tall in real life. So that would be a coffee table. And it will work well for a coffee table. It is about 4¼ inches long. So that's just over 4 feet. And my coffee table that I've got in front of my couch is right at 4 feet long. And this is a little over 2.5 inches wide, so it's really a good size for a coffee table. So let's take a look at this. This one has one leg that's kind of not right. It's kind of at a bad angle. So let's see, can I? Okay, I think I'm going to have to go get my heat gun and heat this up, which will be kind of noisy. So I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll come back when I get this leg off, and I'll show you how we fix that first. All right, well, lucky for us, they use very little, very cheap glue on that connection. So about 3 or 4 minutes of heating it with my heat gun, and it just came right off. So now we need to put it back on and put it on straight. And I've got some wood glue here. I'm using a skewer because I seem to have completely and permanently glued my wood glue top shut. See if I can get this. I'm trying to keep this where you guys can see. I'm trying to just get glue on that spot and on that spot. All right, now here's our leg, and I'm going to put a drop of super glue. Come on, come out without gluing my fingers to you this time. Right on the end. That will help to hold this in place while that glue dries. Now we're going to put this in, and we are going to hold it and push it down. And now make sure that it is as straight as we can get it. It's not going to go completely straight because I think it's actually not cut completely straight, but that is marginally better than it was. It's still a little bit off. So off camera I may tweak it a bit, but that's basically what we need to do. So now that glue needs to dry, and then I'll come back and we'll start painting, we'll start getting this ready to paint. All right, the glue is dry on the leg, and it's looking okay now. As far as how straight it is, now we need to deal with this rough wood. And I really wish you could feel how rough this is. You can probably hear it's really rough. So we need to go through and sand it down a little bit, get some of this stuff off, and I'm going to use one of these sanding blocks. This is a sanding sponge, and I got this at Dollar Tree. When they've got them, pick them up, because at least at my Dollar Trees, they're hard to come by. But they are wonderful for doing just some light sanding. And I'm starting out by just doing that surface. I'm going to go around. And I'm going to have to sand a little more probably off camera because this is going to take, as rough as this is, it's going to take quite a bit of sanding. And this would probably be a better place to use an emery board, but I'm going to have to go get one. I put them away the other day. Now I need them again. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to sand all the places that are rough, and then I'll come back and we'll go to our first coat of paint. All right, I'm done. I've done as much sanding as I'm going to. Now, while this is far from being perfectly smooth, but that's okay because it is going to get distressed. We're going to start out with a first coat of this apple barrel paint. It's in Admiral Blue. And one of my viewers asked me a while back if I'm still using ceramic coat. And I do. I'm going to be building up my collection of that, but when I moved, I didn't bring any of my craft paints with me because most of them were getting pretty old and pretty empty. And so I'm having to buy my entire color spectrum of paints all at pretty close to one time. So I am going to just go cheap at first, and then as I get ready to replace paints, because I know these won't last as long as the ceramic coat, I need to have the volume of colors. So as these run out, I will, or as I can slow down on collecting them, I'll start just getting ceramic coat again. So we are going to use this Admiral Blue, and we're going to put a coat of paint on the whole table. And you probably don't need to watch me paint. I mean, you know how to paint. This coat does not need to be perfect because this is basically an undercoat. I am going to do the bottom of this area here, and I will probably do the bottom of that table. Now, somebody asked me on one of my older videos the other day, how come I didn't finish the bottom side of a piece of furniture I redid? It's because typically when you get a piece of real furniture, the bottom side is not finished. Go crawl underneath your real coffee table or dining room kitchen table, and you'll find that usually that underside is unfinished in most cases. And so that's one of the reasons I do just usually not bother. The only reason I'm coating this area here is I know that if I'm not going to tape it, I would get paint from here onto there, and that would look bad if you did look under it. So I am not going to do the inside of I'm not going to do this area with the paint. I'm probably not even going to do that. I'm just going to do the edge. So I am going to get this painted and then let this dry, and then when that's done, I'll come back and we'll go to the next coat. All right, our blue paint is dry, and now I'm going to use this, let's see what color this is called, Vanilla Cream. It's the same one I used last month when I did the hall table piece. I love this. It's just kind of a creamy color, and it goes so well. And we're just going to now completely coat over all of that blue. Have you guessed what we're going to do next after this? So, and once again, it's just the same thing. We're just going to put a coat on. Make sure it isn't so thick that it makes drips. My brush is still wet from cleaning it from the last paint, so it's a little harder to control my brush, but this is my favorite brush, and I only have one of these. So I am going to paint the table with the cream color, and I probably put 2 coats on because I want some areas to have a really good coat of this, but my second coat probably won't be as thick as this coat. So I'm going to get probably 2 coats of this paint on and get them dry, and then I'll be back again and we can go to the next step. So my little table has 2 coats of the cream color on it. Now we're going to distress it and make it look more farmhouse, more worn in. So this is just a sanding block. I picked it up at Dollar Tree. You can get these in the hardware store too. what I want to do is go around the edges, mainly. It's camera's struggling to focus today, isn't it? And this is why we put that blue coat underneath. I'm not going to make this super, super aged, just a little bit. And since this is probably going to make some really bad noises on the camera, I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off and finish doing my aging with this. And I've also got a piece of sandpaper if I decide I need that. I've got an emery board somewhere on my table, but I'll get this done and then I'll come back and we can put a finish on it. All right, I've got the table distressed as much as I would like it to be. You can go further, you can go less. It's all up to you, but I've got blue showing in various spots, some places more than others. Now I have my satin Mod Podge again. I like the satin for the furniture. I think it looks a little nicer. Oops, that's than the gloss or the matte, either one. And since I'm going over a painted surface, I'm going to pour out a little bit at a time into that lid or into that container because, and this is just a, I don't know, cream cheese container turned upside down on my table. That way, if I get paint or any debris off of here on my brush and into this, I don't contaminate my jar. I very seldom use anything like Mod Podge or anything from the container directly. So this is just going to be a matter of putting a coat of this on. Now, it goes on white, but it dries clear. Remember, don't go too thick or it won't look good. But we've all done, painted these things on before. So I'm going to turn the camera off, get this painted, and then I will be back when it's dry. All right, here is our table all finished. I love how this came out. It's just the right amount of distressed. You get the little hint of blue. It's going to look wonderful in the beachside bungalow. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, I invite you to do so, and be sure and hit that notification bell so you know when I put up a new video. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.